Nofri. Welcome in a new lesson of the lectures of Coptic language. In today's lecture, we'll talk about the verbs and the sentence. The verb in Coptic language, as we have said before, doesn't change according to tense. However, we have mentioned that there are approximately 523 verbs which have some vowel changes. The change in Coptic verb is not due to tense. For example, when I say I write, in past the way we say it, it's only the change of pronoun, not the change in a verb. For example, T is high. In present, in past I say I is high. I changed the pronoun only, but I didn't change the verb. The verb remained as high as is. In future, Tina is high, means I will write. So whether we use the past or present or future, there isn't any change in the verb. However, there are some verbs containing changes. The changes are not according to the tense, but according to the kind of usage of verb. If we use the verb followed by indirect complement, which means there is a particle n or m or a after the verb is having a form. If we use direct complement after the verb, it's another form. If we use a pronoun, it's another form of the verb. And if we use a past participle, it's another form. Here we have some example. For example, we have the verb su'un. Su'un, it means su'un, to know, su'un. For example, in present I say ek su'un, cosmos. It means you know the world or you know the universe. The verb here is the first kind of the verb which must be followed by a particle indicating the complement, which is n or m or a, according to the word. If the word beginning with p, b or c, it becomes m. Otherwise it's n, unless the verb gets a followed by a. We use also how we know that the verb is a, not n. It's a number of verbs must be followed by the preposition or the particle a. You memorize them and you know them. Here the verb aksun, we put it in the past tense. The ek became ak, and we used it in past tense. MB cosmos, you knew the world. In future, we say ekna suun, MB cosmos, you will know the world. Here the difference wasn't in the verb according to tense, but we used this shape of verb or this kind of phonetic kind because afterwards, after it, there have been a complement indirect because it preceded by an indicator of complement, the n or m or a. Here, as I have mentioned previously, it's the standard form is n, but when the word begins with p, the n turns into m. Here the case when we use the verb without a preposition or indicator of a complement. The verb here turns into suin. Ek suin cosmos, you know the universe. Ak suin cosmos, you knew the universe or the world. Ek nas suin cosmos, you will know the world or you will know the universe. The change happened because this shape of verb must be followed by direct complement. There is no change in meaning between this shape and this shape. It's only discretion of user. You would like to use the verb in first form followed by indication of complements in the complement, you can do so. You want to use the second form of the verb followed directly by the direct complement, is your discretion how to use it. Then we have here the pronoun as a complement. Ik so onf. Ik so onf, it means you know it. So we changed the verb another time phonetically to for the usage of the complement as a pronoun. Ak so onf, you knew it. And ik na so onf, you will know it. There is no change in the verb in the tense, but according to what kind of complement we added, we have changed the vowels. Here is the past participle of it. If I in Sweden geen beflaus. If means he, I means verb to be in the form which gets the present continuous, in the indication of a complement, and I want to make an observation that the word complement not necessarily means an object. It might mean also the word which completes the meaning of what precedes it. So here it completes the verb, its meaning. It might be completing a noun before it becomes an adjective, or it becomes an adverb. It depends on the context. Here we say that he is knowing. Geen beflaus, geen it means in or among, bef it means his, laus means people or nation. In past tense, afshobi in Sweden geen beflaus. We say he is knowing, and the in is a connection particle or indication of a complement which completes the meaning of the word preceding it. Geen beflaus, he was known among his people. If nashobi in Sweden geen beflaus, it means he will be in Sweden, means knowing, in the word which indicates that the following words and completes the meaning of the preceding word. Geen means among or in, bef his, laus means people. The rest of the verbs are having one form only. The verbs which have more than one form are 523 verbs. All the rest are one form only, and they usually take n or m or a after them to indicate the complement or the word which is following. For example, here the verb erhot, it means to travel. If erhot a Kibros, it means he travels to Cyprus. Af erhot a Kibros, he traveled to Cyprus. He traveled to Cyprus. The verb remains the same. All what we have changed here, the pronoun if became af, and in future it became ifna. Ifna erhot a Kibros. It means he will travel to Cyprus. Here we talk about the structure of the sentence in Coptic language. As we have noticed, the structure can be subject, verb, and after the verb, the indicator of the complement, n or m or a, according to the verb we use. If n is the standard case, all verbs, m if the word following begins with b, or psi, and a, the verb itself takes a. For example, travel, the verb gets a, not n. To see, verb to see, nav, it gets a, not n. Then we add the object, and then we have another structure, the subject, the verb, and the object. And we have a structure of subject, verb, and pronoun. We can change the indicator of a complement by another preposition depending on the verb. But this is the main structure of any sentence in the Coptic language. You can find those videos on YouTube and on Internet Archive. This channel or those lectures are on Coptic education channel, educational channel on the YouTube, and you can find copy of them on the archive.org. You can find this presentation, this lecture on YouTube, also on archive.org. And if you find any difficulty in seeing its content in the PowerPoint format, you can add those fonts to your computer. It would be allowing you to see them. أشبه موت. Thanks. شاتنا بإيروتين خن بأوشتنيو. Until I see you in the lesson which would come. Until seeing you next lesson. أشبه موت. Thanks.